Welcome to this special explainer from RWG Publishing. You know, if you've ever had that feeling, that little whisper inside that says, I've got a book in me, a story that's just begging to come out, then you are in exactly the right place. That whole journey from just a tiny spark of an idea to an actual physical book in someone's hands, it can feel huge, maybe even a little overwhelming, but it absolutely doesn't have to be. So today, we are going to break it all down and give you the roadmap.
Our guide for this journey is Bill Vincent's fantastic book, Your Book, Your Voice, and he kicks things off with this really powerful core idea. Your book is your voice. Just let that sink in for a second. We're not just talking about words on a page here. This is about the most direct, potent expression of who you are, your unique viewpoint, your passion, your hard-won expertise. This idea, this is the why that fuels the entire project. And honestly, it's what's going to make your story truly matter to somebody else.
You know, to really succeed as an author, you've got to get good at wearing two completely different hats. It's almost like you're developing two sides of your brain. On one side, you've got the art of writing. That's the creative, quiet, sometimes messy and mysterious process of getting your voice down on the page. But then there's the other side, the science of publishing. And that is a whole different ballgame. It's a world of business plans, distribution channels, data, metadata, and marketing strategies. See, a successful author can't just be an artist. You have to become a bit of a scientist, too. One side expresses your voice, and the other makes sure that voice is heard loud and clear.
So, to help you master both of those sides, we've laid out our journey today as a really clear step-by-step roadmap. First up, we're going to talk about finding your unique author voice. That's the bedrock. Then, we'll dive into the nitty-gritty, the practical process of actually writing the book. After that, we'll navigate the sometimes tricky world of publishing. And finally, we'll look ahead at how you can build a real sustainable career as an author for the long run.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning, where every great book begins. Before you even write a single sentence, before you even think about outlining a chapter, you have to lay the foundation. This first part is all about digging deep and figuring out the core purpose, that big why that's going to drive your book from the first page to the last.
And here it is. This is it. This is, without a doubt, the most important question you can ask yourself as a writer. Now, notice it's not, what do I want to write about? No, it's, who am I writing for and why? Answering this question really honestly and deeply gives your work an immediate sense of purpose and a clear direction. It becomes the compass that will guide every single decision you make from here on out.
So how do you figure out who that audience is? Well, funny enough, it actually starts by looking inward. What are you truly passionate about? What makes you tick? What are the ideas that keep you up at night? Your most authentic, powerful voice is going to come from the stuff that genuinely matters to you. Once you got a handle on that, then you can start to picture the person who needs to hear that message. Really, close your eyes and imagine them. What problem are they facing that your words can solve? What are they dreaming of? So once you know your who, you can start to really nail down your what. What is the promise you're making to that ideal reader? What will they be able to do or think or feel after they finish your book that they couldn't before? It is so important to get this defined early on, because whether your goal is to teach them something new, to inspire them, or just to give them a great story to escape into, that clarity is what makes sure every single chapter is pulling its weight and moving your reader towards that destination you promised them. All right, so we've got our foundation poured. Now it's time to actually start building the house. Let's move on to the practical, hands-on work of turning that voice, that purpose, and those goals into a structured, solid manuscript. This is where the art of writing really gets its scientific framework.
Now, I know what some of you are thinking. An outline? Isn't that going to kill my creativity? A lot of writers feel that way, but Vincent frames it in a totally different light. Think of an outline not as a prison, but as the blueprint that saves you from total chaos later on. It's the scaffolding that gives your creativity the structure it needs to soar. By coming up with chapter titles, writing little summaries for each section, and defining what you want the reader to get out of it, you're building a logical path. This map is what's going to keep you from getting lost in the woods of your own ideas halfway through the book.
Okay, with that beautiful outline in hand, it is time to write the first draft. And there's one golden rule here. You have to silence your inner editor. Just tell that critical voice to take a vacation. The goal of a first draft is not perfection. It's just about getting the content down. Think of it like a sculptor getting the big lump of clay on the table. That's your only job right now. You'll shape it into something amazing later, during revision. So break it down into small, bite-sized pieces. Just focus on one section, or one chapter at a time.
It builds momentum and keeps you from feeling totally overwhelmed. Just write. And hey, for a much deeper dive into all the fantastic resources and tools that the book talks about, everything from formatting guides to great research tips, you can find Bill Vincent's complete guide, Your Book, Your Voice, right on Amazon. It is well worth checking out. Okay, you did it. Your manuscript is drafted, it's revised, it's polished. The solitary artist part of you has done its work. Now it is time to put on that other hat and become the public scientist. We are officially shifting gears from the private act of writing to the very public, very strategic business of publishing.
And this, right here, brings us to what is easily one of the biggest, most critical decisions any author is going to make in today's world. Which road are you going to take to get your book out there? The answer to this one question is going to shape your career, your level of creative control, and your bottom line in some really profound ways.
So let's just break down the big trade-offs, shall we? With traditional publishing, you get a whole team of experts in your corner. They handle the editing, the design, the distribution, and you usually get a cash advance. But you give up a lot of control. On the other hand, self-publishing puts you right in the driver's seat. You control absolutely everything: the timeline, the cover, the price, and you keep all the profits. But that also means you have to do everything. All the work and all the financial risk land squarely on your shoulders. Look, there's no single right answer here. There's only the answer that's right for you and your specific goals.
But here's the thing. No matter which path you choose, this is a universal truth. You absolutely cannot succeed alone. You need a champion. You need someone in your corner who gets your work, believes in it, and will fight for it. In the traditional world, that person is usually a literary agent. If you're self-publishing, maybe it's a brilliant freelance editor who makes your prose sing, or a cover designer who just gets your vision. You've got to find your champion.
And just to make this super practical, this is what a professional submission package generally looks like. See, it's not just about firing off an email with your manuscript attached. It's about presenting yourself as a professional, as a partner. That means a properly formatted file, a questionnaire that shows you've thought about your market, and of course, a formal agreement. Getting these details right from the get-go shows everyone that you understand and respect the business side of this whole thing.
So your book is out in the world. Congratulations! That is a huge accomplishment. But here's the big secret. That is not the finish line. Nope, it's actually the starting pistol. Now we get to dive into the final and, honestly, the most ongoing stage of this whole journey. Building a real, sustainable author career that lets you keep doing this work you love for years and years to come.
In today's world, a long-term career is built on something called an author platform. The easiest way to think about it is like a bridge that connects you directly to your readers. And that bridge rests on three key pillars. First, you need a professional author website. That's your home base, your central hub online. Second, a smart strategic social media presence, which is less about selling and more about connecting. And third, and maybe most importantly, is genuine reader engagement. This is all about building a community, not just a list of customers.
And having that platform is absolutely crucial, because so many authors fall into the same trap. They think marketing is something you worry about after the book comes out. But the truth is, marketing is something you plan for from day one. Real effective marketing isn't about getting lucky or going viral. It's the direct result of steady, thoughtful preparation that's designed to connect your book with that ideal audience you identified way back in part one.
And finally, how do you keep the fire burning for the long haul? Well, a writing career is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about finding a rhythm, a sustainable balance between your creative work and, well, the rest of your life. It means having a toolkit of strategies to push through those inevitable hurdles like writer's block. And most of all, it means making a commitment to be a lifelong learner. The publishing industry is always changing, and the best, most successful authors are the ones who change and evolve right along with it.
When you boil it all down, it really comes back to this one simple, powerful truth. The craft gets better with practice. Your voice gets stronger the more you use it. Your career is built one book at a time, one page at a time. There's just no substitute for showing up and doing the work. And that, my friends, brings us right back to where we started. This entire journey we've just mapped out, from finding your why to navigating publishing to building a platform, it is all in service of this one ultimate goal: letting your unique, authentic voice shine through. Because when you write about what you're most passionate about in a way that only you can write it, you create something that isn't just a well-crafted book. You create something that is truly alive. So, we're going to leave you with this question to chew on. After seeing the whole roadmap laid out, after understanding both the art and the science of it all, what is the story, the idea, the message that your voice is waiting to tell the world?
To start your journey today, go find Bill Vincent's Your Book, Your Voice on Amazon. Thank you for listening to the Deep Dive Podcast.